Let's see if this works again. So excited. Let me see if I can invite him. That's him. Let's try this again, everybody. I just messaged him, but I'm not sure if he's receiving the invite. Hello? Oh, Ishmael? Hi, Ishmael. Oh, there
Hi.
you are. Finally. Hello, hello.
Hi. Good morning.
Oh, it's afternoon over here, but good morning.
Let me
Thank
turn.
you so much for joining me. It's so good to meet you, Ishmael.
Likewise.
I
Likewise.
am totally fascinated by your work. I've got your book here,
Thank
and
you.
I've got to say, you have like a universe of knowledge in this book, and it's amazing that you were actually able to put it into writing into a book. It's amazing. So I wanted to make this information accessible, down for the masses, because I know that most people, like, they're still stuck in their day-to-day lives, and they're stuck in like religion and stuff like that. And I wanted to sort of integrate the information, for the regular people, for the masses. So can you tell us a bit about who you are, and who, like, why are we here? Why are humans here?
Right. Hold on 1 second. Trying to.
Okay.
Hi. Sorry for
Hello,
all the.
everybody. Welcome, welcome, Sweden, Cali. We love you guys.
All right. Let's see. There we go. Much better. All right. Now I'm centered.
Perfect. Awesome.
So, what was the question?
Okay. So I wanted you to sort of introduce yourself. I want to make this information accessible, for the regular people, that may be stuck in like the 3D 9 to 5, religion. I want people to know the truth of our reality and who we are and what we're doing here.
All right.
If you can sum it up.
Sure. So everything that we've been taught is wrong. We were all from the beginning of birth programmed subconsciously. From the moment we hatched from our mother's womb, the programming started. And so first we have that we don't come from apes. We're not this crude matter. We're multi-dimensional spiritual beings that originated in the highest levels of reality from the top down, and through a process that I call in my book descension, or the involution of spirit through the lowering of frequency. We gradually became denser and denser until we reached the third dimension. So this is part of the experiment, but yet at the same time, because we are in the lowest dimension, it's also considered the greatest illusion. Now, what do I mean by that? Very simple. In the third dimension, everything seems to be separated. And
Mhm.
us
Absolutely.
from the birds, from the insects, from each and every single one of us, everything seems to be separated. And that is why it's called the greatest illusion, because ultimately, and this is probably one of the things that will either trigger people or blow their mind away, is that there is no difference between us and the other species and everything around us, the trees, the planet, the galaxy, the solar system. We're actually everything. Okay, when it comes down to it, every single one of us is part of one underlying energy field. And that one underlying,
Right. And the Bible says it everywhere. We are all one. We are all one, right? So this knowledge has been written, but most people overlook it, or they just, and when you believe that you're separate from everything, it makes it so much easier to destroy it, right? So people destroy nature, people destroy the environment, people destroy each other, and it's not like that, right?
not at all. In fact, in the higher realities, the advanced races, they live accordingly to the laws of one. They understand harmony, cooperation, just like the billions of cells in our bodies are working together to operate the greater organism. Well, that's how the cosmic and intergalactic communities operate. And these
Exactly.
are beyond a type 1 to a type 2 or type 3. Uh,
So these galactic beings that you're speaking of, they're way more highly evolved than we are.
well, most of them, yes, but there's still some that are still living in the fourth and fifth dimension that are still very immature. And
Mm,
um, they are kind of like us. They have rage, they have um, they experience in a way immaturity, because not everyone in the fifth dimension is evolved. So we have
right.
to bear in mind that there are some races out there that are perhaps more technologically advanced than we are, but on a spiritual level they're not as advanced like we think they are. And
Okay.
why they ended up in the fifth dimension was because they use technology to reach the fifth dimension, whereas we
Oh,
are going to do it organically, because a lot of the technology that these extraterrestrial races use is a mimicking of our own inner technology, which is the greatest biological quantum living computer that has ever been designed. So, and
absolutely.
that's one of the reasons why they've been abducting, harvesting DNA, because they want to mimic what we have, but they can't replicate it. So what they do is they create an equivalent. In terms of technology, they create an equivalent to that ability, but with the usage of technology. And so that's why a lot of these races get stuck in the fifth dimension, and they can go bypass the fifth dimension to get into the sixth, seventh, and eighth, where everything is more like spiritual.
Right, and more connected. So these dark cats that you speak about, like the cabal, they've been in power for a long time. So I got my DNA activated, once I became vegan. I've been vegan almost 10 years now. And I actually had a visitation by some of our brothers and sisters, Pleiadians, and I was activated. The DNA, they call it junk DNA, but it's just dormant, right? So once it becomes active again, you start remembering things. Your memories from the past come alive, and you start remembering all these things, right? So I wanted to, talk a bit about these beings of light, the Pleiadians. A lot of people think that if you believe in aliens, you can't believe in Christ, like Christ wasn't real. But and what God told me was that, back in the times of Christ was working with the Pleiadians, with the angels here on this earth, to try to establish heaven on earth, right? That's been our goal for how long? How long? Like, we've been trying to establish heaven on earth, but it seems like this time it's actually going to happen, right?
Yeah, this is actually known as a third Earth Grand experiment, which is supposed to be a success. We failed in the first one. The first Earth Grand experiment started in Lyra. That was when Earth was once planet Avion, Avyon. And when that planet was destroyed, a chunk of that planet was caught by Alcyon, the central sun of the Pleiades, and then that developed the second Earth, also known as Avion 2. And that failed as well. And the reason it failed is because the whole purpose of this galactic war between light and dark is to end the war. What we really have to do is find a neutral point, neutral ground, neutralizing it, because it's
Mm,
together as one again. And that's one of the things that I talk about in my book, is that for the reptilians, It was about learning meditations and developing their consciousness spiritually. For the galactic humanoids, was learning about technology, but using it in balance with their spiritual evolution to find an integrating point, a midpoint between, being consciously, spiritually advanced while employing the use of, healthy technology. So that was called the integration point. And so that's why it failed. But I believe that this time around, it's not going to fail. It's not going to fail because a lot of us starseeds are here representing both sides of the spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
represent the light and the dark, put in one spot. And so it is up to us to collapse that polarity, find that point of integration where there is no more duality. And as we do so, we end all the galactic wars. Because see, the galactic wars are a reflection of this unbalanced duality, this polarized opposites.
True. And so these dark heads have been pretty much in power for how long it's been that they've been in power, and now, it seems like as we start to establish heaven on earth and our DNA becomes activated, we're upgrading, and we're shifting paradigms as a human evolution,
Well, a lot of it has to do with the activation of our dormant DNA. It's already happening. And,
Okay.
and that's what every race out there, both light and dark, I guess, but not fear, but it's kind of, we put other races in anxiety when it comes to us turning on our dormant DNA, because what they are capable of doing with technology, we're going to
Uh-huh.
be without any technology. And so they're kind of apprehensive to see how it's all going to play out when we begin to use our dormant DNA, But what I personally believe is that we had to experience mortality. We had to experience the limitations of the human condition in order to humble us. Because when our dormant DNA comes online, we're going to be more as powerful as these Marvel heroes, like Marvel, Captain Marvel.
I believe it. I've watched those movies with my son, and I'm like, I remember we are supposed to have those powers, like I believe we are super powerful beings. It's just, the fear on the TV and the media, they bombard us with all this fear, and the foods are so modified and everything to keep our DNA dormant, but it's time for us to like awaken to this new level of being.
Yeah, and we have to do it naturally and organically. We have to do the work. We have to spend time in nature, 20 to 30 minutes a day. I don't care if it's through meditation, dance, tai chi, movement. Even dance is a form of activating our dormant DNA. So, we
I do
have
a
to,
lot of dancing.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There's many ways. There's many techniques. There's many things that we could do that put us in that no mind zone, in that state of mind where it's like we're just in the flow, where time doesn't exist. And when we
Right.
mind where we are in the flow and time doesn't exist, I call it the no mind zone, right? That's when we begin to activate dormant DNA.
It's amazing. It's really amazing. I think we are living in a truly beautiful, magical time right now. And can you speak about the photon belt and what we're going through, are we going through the photon belt right now?
Yes, we're almost fully emerged, and that is what's actually activating our dormant DNA. There is a constant communication that is taking place between the gamma ray photonic central energy from the galactic core that's coming in via our sun and our cellular structure. So our cells are like, or you could say our DNA is like a software. It's like a program. It gives
Yes.
instructions to build liver cells, to build neurons, whatever. Everything comes from a program. So, in fact, that's the way they build systems and computers and softwares and browsers. It's all a mimicking our DNA. So what's happening right now is that the sun is communicating with our DNA, and it's actually beginning to wake up dormant codons that have been asleep for thousands of years. And so that's what's happening right now as we fully emerge into the photon belt. So we're almost fully there. That's why many CMEs are coming in like crazy, like unheard of. You can't even. There's times where the Schumann resonance can't even register. some of the CMEs that are coming in, which
Oh,
means
wow.
we're extremely close to that final release of the sun. But it's also a two-way process. The reason why we're close is because a lot of us are doing the work. A lot of us are peeling the shadow, finding that neutral zone between light and dark within us. Because again, duality exists within us. So when we bring that duality and we collapse it into one singularity, then once enough of us do that, then that's when the solar flash is going to come in. Because then that's when our bodies are going to be able to withhold and withstand and absorb all that, um, photonic light rate, gamma ray frequency. Because in our current level, we would burst. If we don't have the right codons to absorb that photonic gamma ray frequency, we would literally have an internal combustion. And
Wow.
to have those proper codons on, that switches us from carbon based to at least 50% crystalline based DNA, so that we can begin to absorb all that gamma ray energy. And then that's when our bodies will transform. I mean, we're still going to look physical, but we're just going to be indestructible. Like our bodies are going to be like metamatter.
Metamatters. That's a new word. That sounds amazing. And wow, I'm just super excited to see, what we're going to create this, in Isaiah, in the book of Isaiah in the Bible, it talks about the new heavens and the new earth. And when I found this chapter, I was like super excited. I've been speaking about this for 10 years to people, like screaming it from the top of my lungs, like we're here to create a new heaven and new earth, the heaven on earth and everything. But it seems like for me, like the foods have really facilitated, the biophotons in the food. And I think this is knowledge that is not really spoken about, is the biophotons, the light energy that's out in the fruits and vegetables, that can actually bring light into our cells and our DNA and start activating and cleaning it out, right? So do you know anything about that you could speak about?
Yeah, it's very important to understand and know what you're putting in your body. Including meat. If you're, I eat meat still, but that's
Right.
just part of my balance. I believe that we get photonic energy from everything: animals, plants, fruits, and so. But that's just my personal belief. If you're vegan out there and you're gonna, I don't know, see this as a, I don't know, as a red flag, well, that's fine with me. But I love meat, and as long as we're eating it where it's not killed in fear, where it's not releasing that negative hormone, where it's actually patted down, massaged, they have to massage the cows, they have to put them in a state of high frequency.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
just kind of like without, hurting them or torturing them, they just give them the shot, but they die in that high frequency because that's the
Oh,
we absorb. So, we have to be mindful of what we put in our systems. You have to take organic living, foods, whether it's meat or not. Even your vegetables and fruits have to be organic. Support the local farmers. Don't eat anything with pesticides. In fact, stop supporting markets. Stop supporting grocery stores. That
I
is,
agree.
and so it's we have to be mindful of what we're taking in, and take a lot of superfoods. Spirulina, chlorella. What else? Yeah, there's just so many of them. Acai, turmeric. I mean, the list goes on. Ashwagandha. I take that every day. So take superfoods, take vitamins and minerals, eat healthy and organic only, and you will be okay. You will be okay.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I have these superfoods that I totally love, and they're really like upgrading my cells and my DNA and activating everything. It's really amazing what the biophotons can do. But at the same time, we are going through this the photon belt, which is basically going to just bombard us with so much light, and I'm very excited. But I'm what I'm just really concerned, for the people that haven't had access to this knowledge, about the foods, and they're still stuck in this day-to-day grind, and they're very dense, right? It makes them very dense and not able to really ascend, and activate what. activate what we need to activate in order to go through the photon belt and to be able to withstand those powerful energies, you have to be at a certain frequency, right?
You do. You have to be vibrating at a high frequency. When when the shift takes place, you have to be, I believe, 580 hertz and up. So
Wow.
also, you have to start controlling your thoughts, because once we enter this photon belt, whatever you think will manifest at the speed of light. So right now we're, giving an opportunity to gain control of our thoughts and our emotions, because that's how we're going to control the electron flow in our body when our light body activates and the dormant DNA, and we, exert these supernatural abilities. So we have to, find that middle ground between rage and peace in order to access that power. In order to do so, we have to learn how to control our thoughts and our emotions now. Otherwise, we're going to be like, one of those villains in like X-Men, like Magneto, right? When he can't control his anger, he starts destroying things.
Oh man,
So
yes.
I want to end up like that. So,
What's the green hero? I forgot the Hulk. The Hulk.
Hulk, yeah, Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's an example. That's we have to learn how to control our rage or our emotions and our thoughts, because
Yeah, and direct our thoughts. Definitely. And I started to notice things are manifesting a lot faster already right now.
yeah, because time is speeding up. We're heading 0 point. We're heading into that no time zone where time is just going to collapse all of a sudden. And yeah, some believe that there's going to be a slight pause in time when the solar flash takes place, where
Really?
the field will be lifted. There's and an interdimensional convergence takes place, and all of a sudden, people worldwide, star seeds and non-star seeds, are going to see things for what they really are for like a split second. Oh, it's going to be interesting. Like,
Wow.
like they're going to see what's beyond the matrix. You know.
Right, right. And that's when the veil is going to break, right? And
Yes.
so I wanted to tie it all back up, because um back to Christ, because I know like the Christ consciousness, and just being able to understand that Christ didn't come down here to try to just establish a religion. He wasn't trying to establish a religion. That was actually the Roman Empire, right? And which is now the Roman Catholic Church,
Mm-hmm.
that came down here to establish religion, because they basically stole the teachings of Christ. But Christ really was trying to demonstrate our power to us, because that's what he was saying, right? Like, greater things than these you will do. Like, I want people to really understand we are powerful beings, and the same power that Christ had lives in us, and we are going to be activated to that level.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and this brings another point that I want to address. It appears, that there's a lot of men out there who think that they are Joshua, and they constantly DM me and say, hey, I'm the reincarnation of Joshua. We need to connect. There's info I need to exchange. And I'm like, all right. And then I also get women that are DMing me saying, well, I'm the reincarnation of Mary Magdalene, and we need to connect. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I have hundreds of Mary Magdalenes that solely believe that they're Mary Magdalene. And then I have, hundreds of guys out there who solely believe that they are the Messiah or Joshua. And I'm starting to think, well, wait a minute. What if we all are? What if every female out there, every single divine female starseed is the representation of Isis, Venus, Aphrodite, Mary Magdalene? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
and then what if every male out there is the representation of Osiris, Joshua, and so on and so forth? I'm starting to believe that every single male starseed out there is the returned Joshua. And I'm starting to believe that every female starseed out there is the return Isis, Venus, Mary, whatever you want to call it. All of them in all her incarnations. Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I never thought about that, but it could be, right? Because they are a consciousness.
They
It's,
are conscious. Exactly. And
yeah.
it's an attainment. And it's a level of consciousness attainment that we are all undergoing right now. As we all reach higher levels of consciousness, you realize we're going to have the ability to bend time and matter. We are all going to be the Christ. and we are all going to be the Mary Magdalenes or the, you know, the Mother Goddess, whatever you want to call it. Not us, but you females, I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing is the frequency of our planet is also being, you know, it's also raising the raising of the frequency of our planet.
Yeah.
And I feel like people that have grown up disrespecting our planet and like just being totally evil to our planet, you know, our Mother Earth is coming alive. You know, our Mother Earth, you know, has is also a consciousness, you know, and there will be repercussions for, you know, for destroying our planet.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's why I do believe in a judgment day. But it's not going to be judged by a man with a beard sitting on a throne in space. It's going to be judged by everyone's own consciousness. You know, so those that are um, leaning towards service to self, manipulation, narcissism, which is what evil is represented by, without the balancing of service to others. I mean, I really feel for those people because in the end, they're going to, everything that they've ever done, that they've ever inflicted will come back to them a thousandfold. So, you know, that's where the laws of karma come in. We have to understand that, you know, your life, what you do, what you think, and what you say, you're actually, it's like a boomerang, you know, you're
Yeah,
sending it, but it's also receiving it. And it's very important that you only want to do good for others, you know, that you want to be an example, that you want to live accordingly to the laws of one, you know, because that's what distinguishes us from the rest of the alien regressives, is that we are children of the one.
that's the one.
And we're here to bring that back, to bring
Or,
balance, equality, harmony for the entire universe. And that's why we're called the chosen race. No.
absolutely. Oh, I totally agree. Those are beautiful words, beautiful words. Yes. And that's something that, you know, I speak about a lot is creating harmony and on the earth, you know, with nature, with each other, with the animals and everything. I really feel like we're entering a time of peace and love and unity and compassion, you know, for all living beings. And so this is what really drives me is to see our human race, you know, come alive and become these vibrant, beautiful beings that God intended for us to be. You know, our Creator really intended for us to be here on this planet to shine bright, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, as Christ said, you know, like love your neighbor as yourself. And if you love yourself and you love everybody else, you know, you'll be okay, right?
Well, because by loving your neighbor as yourself, you're loving yourself. Because, like I said, in the lower dimensions, everything seems to be divided and separated. Where, you know, I am here, you're there, that plant is there, that animal's there. But in the highest levels of reality, it's just one underlying energy field that manifests through all the different, you know, through all these different forms. You know, from universes to galaxies, it's like a refraction of the one, becoming all these different things. But ultimately, it's the oneness exploring itself through the many. And that's a concept that many will be triggered. You know, it's the many and the one and the many. And I talk about that in my book. You know,
Wow, that's beautiful. And so I know like a lot of people that carry a lot of negative energy, a lot of, you know, negative karma. I know that they have the opportunity to transmute it, right? Before we go through this really time of enlightenment, you know, with the photon belt, because a lot of those people will be destroyed, right? Unless they transmute their negative energy.
absolutely, yes, yes. Those that don't do the work, that are still very dense, when the solar flash takes place, they will have some sort of they will burst. And that's why I feel sorry for all the negatives that are still lurking within our solar system, because our entire solar system will be purged. It's not just here on our planet. You know, I don't care if they're hiding in Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, in the asteroid belts. It's all going to be purged when our solar system is fully in the photon band. And so we have to prepare for that.
Absolutely, I agree. So now is the time, if you're carrying a lot of negative energy and a lot of negative karma, this is a time to transmute it, change your thoughts, forgive, forgive the people that have hurt you, forgive yourself, and
Yeah.
turn back from your ways. This is why Christ speaks of repentance, like repent and like forgive and change your ways, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. That's,
So,
and most importantly, love yourself, accept yourself, and honor yourself, and value yourself. Like you are the most important thing in a sense where by loving yourself, you're actually capable of extending that love to all living things. Because if you can't start with yourself by honoring yourself, being healthy, treating your body like a temple, your mind, right? What occupies your mind throughout the day? That's a big thing too. Are you honoring your mental body? Are you honoring your emotional body? It's not just physical body, because again, we're, multidimensional. So when you begin to love every part of your being, then you are capable of radiating that love towards every living thing, but it all starts with yourself.
absolutely. And I always refer to my followers as beautiful divine beings, because if we can see ourselves as beautiful divine beings, we're not going to go around destroying each other, or putting each other down and stuff like that. But we have somebody here, Kenster 808 is asking, what are your thoughts on the possible food shortage? What do you think about that?
It all depends on whether you want to believe it or not, because right now, um, there are many parallel Earth realities coexisting, at the same. And so depending on what your beliefs are and what you choose to perceive, that's the reality that you're going to manifest. So the food shortage, all that stuff that is dealing with end time crisis, is not in my reality. So as a result of that, I'm not going to experience it. So it all depends on your own individual perception and what you choose. So I choose to not believe that it's going to be to that point where there's going to be scarcity, no food to eat. That's just all fear mongering. So
Absolutely, I agree. And so that's why I don't even watch the news. Like, I try to stay away from, the negative programming, because that's what they're doing. They're basically programming you to experience a negative reality.
absolutely.
And it's completely unnecessary. We have the power to create our reality,
Exactly.
especially right now. We get to choose whether, we're going to create our heaven on earth or our hell on earth. So everybody has free will for that, right?
Yes, indeed. We could take a few more questions if you want.
Okay. Yasmin is asking, any advice for parents of young starseeds?
Yeah, start teaching your children the power of meditation, how to focus, how to concentrate their minds. That's the best thing you can do for a child. You start them at a young age, and I guarantee you that child will be a huge giant in this world, because you're teaching them how to master their thoughts. It all
Absolutely. I did that with my son ever since he was a baby. I'm like, look, your thoughts create your reality. And so they start learning how to direct their thoughts to what they want to live, what they want to manifest in their life. And oh my goodness, they just get more and more powerful. It's amazing. These kids being born nowadays, wow, they're amazing. How does Christianity fit with the intergalactic?
Well, we have one thing in common. Christianity preaches, well, the true Gnostic gospel, not the, modified gospel.
The true teachings of Christ, not the modified ones by the Roman Empire.
Well, or I could say it this way: all religion have one underlying principle, and that is the golden rule: treat others as you would like others. Okay, so that is a principle that is extended throughout the intergalactic and cosmic. What separates the negative regressives from the positive benevolent races is that the positive benevolent races live according to the unity laws of one. They're children of the one. They understand universal law. They understand cosmic consciousness principles that have to do with living in balance and in harmony with all living things. And they honor and they see the sacredness of every living thing, including plants, animals, and planets. And so that is the difference, so that is the underlying principle, and every religion has it. It's not just Christianity. The Muslims have it, the Buddhists, the people from India, Hinduism, all that stuff started off from one spiritual, understanding in ancient times, right? Well, back then
Right.
we were all, I guess, high priests and high priestess. We were into magic. We were into the natural order of things. Well, through organized religion, that understanding later became corrupted, and after it became corrupted, then it became tainted, and then that's when the powers that were, took advantage of that and started using it to manipulate the masses and to keeping us divided, because it was through their divide and conquer that they were able to, take over the rings of power in this world.
Absolutely. But now they're losing their power and we're coming into our own power, right?
Yes, yes. And that's what this ascension and awakening is about. It's about coming into your own power, you know, understanding that God is within. And in so doing, then you begin to realize that God is everything else, the entire living organic universe.
Absolutely. That's amazing. That's beautiful. Our creator is just amazing. And it's like prayer, prayer to our creator. It's just we have constant communication with our creator. I don't see any other I don't see any other questions. Ishmael mentioned before that the AI god and his headquarters galaxy was destroyed. Does that mean we will still have the final battle in 1,000 years?
Yes, because that AI God has relocated to a planet called Hercubolus. And that planet exists in a parallel, I guess, version of our galaxy. So, you know, we still have to deal with that at the end of the millennium.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
All right. That's after we establish heaven on earth.
Yes, and then that'll give us 1,000 years to actually begin to use more dormant DNA. By the time we're done at the end of the millennia, some of us are going to be at 100%, and yeah, it's going to be, enough to destroy the AI god.
Wow. So that's really what they're establishing right now is the AI technology that's going to turn into an AI god in the future.
Well, it's the AI god is a very highly advanced non-physical collective. And so what the elites have been doing is that they are trying to build an equivalent to their physical infrastructure so that the AI god could eventually embody it as the beast. There's different types of beast. There's the beast, the embodiment of the Antichrist, right? The Cabal control of the world, which originated in Babylon through the bloodline of Marduk, Belial, Baal. And throughout history, all of the different Caesars, the Neros, the Constantines, the different emperors, those were all different examples of the embodiment of the Antichrist. So that's
Okay.
aspect of the embodiment of the Antichrist. The second aspect of the Antichrist is the machine, the AI god that the entire cosmos has been at war with, pretty much. That is the final beast that we were designed to defeat in the future.
Right.
The future
Okay.
all taking place at the same time. Um,
Absolutely.
to win that war, we did win that war.
Okay.
So it's already happened. But of course, in our linear perspective, it's still happening. It's going to happen. But from a multi-dimensional perspective, it's already happened.
Okay. Awesome. It's already happened. When is the solar flash? Abundantly Christine.
Um, I can't give an exact time or date, but we put it this way: we have a time frame of anywhere from 4 to 8 years. It's going to
Okay.
be a decade. That's all I know.
So we have to reach a certain frequency.
Enough of us, yeah. Once
Yeah.
it the collapsing of the duality within us, where we find that neutral ground, then that's when the sun is going to be ready to unleash what is going to be the signal that will transform our species into these beautiful angelic humans that we're meant to be.
Absolutely. Um, so are we slaves in planet Earth?
No, we're not slaves. Well, let me see. Um, they tried to enslave us, and yeah, for thousands of years we've before the awakening took place, you could say that, yeah, we were slaved, but not anymore. Slavery is over. We are no longer slaves to the, especially those that are waking up. We're sovereigns. We're understanding that we are, our own spiritual power.
Absolutely. The power is in our hands,
Exactly.
everybody. And that's one thing, that's another thing, that differentiates Christ from religion, is that Christ came to empower us, and religion just disempowers the people, right?
Yeah, the original Christians were Gnostics. They were the ancient Druids, the Celts, the ancient Cathars, the Templars, those that were into the ancient mystery teachings of what? Everything boils down to the original religion, which originated in Lyra. And it had to do with what? Magic.
Yes.
Magic is the natural order of all.
We are all magicians. Amen. That's right. That's our religion. We are magicians. Thank God.
That's why I believe that every male divine feminine out there, starseed, is the representative of Osiris, of Dionysus, of Jesus. Every female starseed out there is the representative of Isis, Venus, Aphrodite, Mary. There is no just single. We're all part of one team, and each and every single one of us is the Christ.
Yes, and we are a powerful team. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to know you, Ishmael.
Likewise.
You are such an amazing blessing to this planet. I'm so, so grateful.
We are all born with the gift. It's just a matter of working together as a team. That's the only way we're going to defeat the AI God in the future, by the way. It's not just
absolutely. We are more powerful together.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see. Is Mashiach here now? Who's Mashiach?
Mashiach, Jesus, the return. Well, every tradition, they talk about this leader that's going to lead the 144,000. To the Hindus, he's known as the Kalki Avatar, the final incarnation of Vishnu Krishna. To the Muslims, he's known as the Al-Mahdi. To the Buddhists, he's known as Maitreya. And to the Jews, he's going to be the first coming. And to the Christians, it's going to be the second coming, where they're all talking about the same leader, about the leader of the 144,000. So I would say that, yes, whoever that person is, he's not any different, he's not higher than anyone else. He's just pretty much the most advanced being in the multiverse who's going to lead the war against the AI. But he only works together with his team. And that's what the Hindus call the Kalki's avatar. So you have the Kalki avatar, and then you have the Kalkis behind him, which is a group of angels that incarnated on Earth to win this final war against evil. And that's what we all are. We're all part of that Kalki team. But nobody knows who this guy's going to be, or it could be a woman. But
okay,
union of two, we're not sure. But we do know that according to the secret prophecies, he's going to be like the leader of the 144,000.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, and I mean, I know so many Christians talk about the second coming of Christ and everything, but really, it's the Christ in us that's already here.
Yeah, exactly.
We're it. It's us.
Expect a savior from the sky. Nothing's going to come and save us. It's us. We are the saviors.
Absolutely. I agree. The light has already won. Yes, that is correct. Okay. Velo Girl is saying, will non-starseeds be able to join?
Yeah, of course. They're not going to have superpowers, but they will be able to ascend at least to the fourth dimension. And we're going to be their teachers, because they get to go up in increments, right? So they're going to go, they can't bypass the fourth dimension because they're young souls. So Earth Terrans, I think that's what she's referring to, the Earth Terrans. So they're going to,
okay.
So we're going to be like their teachers in the new age, or this new world that's coming, new heaven on earth.
Beautiful.
And what's going to distinguish us from the gods of ancient times is that we're not going to repeat the same mistake of wanting to be worshipped or venerated. And that's when the Kalki avatar has to kind of set everyone straight. Like, this is not a time for us to misuse our powers. That's why there has to be some sort of leader who's going to be pretty much the most powerful one in order to keep all the other metahumans or powerful beings in place.
Wow.
That we don't repeat what our ancestors did. That's the last thing we want.
Absolutely. So true, because that leads to destruction.
Well, yeah, it leads to the fall. It leads to the what is the the ego. We have to keep the ego in check.
Yeah, with humility, right?
Ego is the downfall. Once we are consumed with the ego and ego overcomes us, where it's like it's all about me, that's what causes Lucifer's, and Lucifer's not the only one that rebelled. He's just the person who separated from God consciousness in our universe. But there's been other Lucifers in prior creations and other universes that have also done the same thing. It seems like every universe has a fall from oneness into duality separation.
Wow, I agree. I mean, it's all about being in service, being in service to humanity in this world. Okay. How do we know we carry the Christ DNA bloodline?
Because if you are a starseed, then you are obviously part of the 144,000K. You have the genetic Holy Grail blueprint within your DNA. And there is nobody out there, no alien out there that could replace it or activate it through technology or something external. It is something that we have to do internally. So we already have it in us. There is no technology out there that's going to, activate it or benefit us. So we have to be careful about that.
That's beautiful. Okay, I think Christ promised to return and be with us. Well, we just talked about that. Christ lives in us. We are it.
Yeah, stop thinking that Christ is outside of you or it's going to be a person that comes from the sky, because if you're still thinking that you're you're still programmed. You have to go into your subconscious mind and rewire yourself and undo everything you've ever been taught. And that's the only way you're going to connect with your own God self. Otherwise, you're going to be part of the program, and you don't want to end up in that timeline. You have to undo the programming now, because we still have time.
I agree. And that's something that has really helped me also, is like fasting. Have you ever done fasting? Like you fast and then it's much easier to start reprogramming, because you're fasting and you're ridding your body of toxicities and negative emotions and negative thoughts and everything. You're detoxing on every level.
Yeah, and I know, and that's when your spirit takes over. When you're giving your intestines and your organs a break, right? Because when you're eating, you're actually your body's working, right? All your organs, your intestines are like working. When you give them a break, your spirit actually takes over. So I do fast like once a month. Once a month, I just go all day without eating. Just drink liquids, especially hydrating liquids, and then of course, eating in the evening. You have to eat something at the end of the day.
Right. That's awesome. Great advice. Okay, I think fasting 72 hours recreates stem cells. Yes, I agree. The stem cells to regenerate the body. I think that's pretty much it, but not sure if it's going to be say. Okay. I think it's coming to a close here. I think we pretty much answered all. I had 4 jabs because of health, but are awakened, will I ascend? Oh, this person, warrior lady, had 4 jabs.
4 jabs?
4.
Well, like I said in prior interviews, if you're not promoting it, if you're not supporting the mark of the beast, if you're actually, if you've been coerced or manipulated in order to keep your job, then you will be fine. The solar flash will neutralize and dismantle the nanotech inside your body. So you'll be okay. As long as you're not pushing it and really believing in it, then you're fine.
I agree.
Worry, a lot of people are panicking. Well, because everybody was deceived. You know, we're under the greatest deception right now, and people took the bait. Unfortunately, those that are unawake.
Yeah, it was really bad. So many people, you know, took it, and it's unfortunate because that's how they want to create the AI
Well, that's
transhumans.
yeah, exactly. That's how they eventually want to get the board, right? Right.
Right.
So that we lose our own individual thinking and we begin to get mind controlled by the machine.
Yeah. But you know, when we become self-empowered and you know we adopt the Christ consciousness within, and we know our power, we don't give in to these, you know, because they're going to continue doing it, right? They're going to continue to manipulate the public, do this, do that, and when you're self-empowered, you don't look outside yourself to sustain you. Like we're self-sustaining, um, magical, divine beings, you know.
Exactly. We operate similar to the universe. The universe is a self-sustaining, self-generating, self-preserving entity because of the fact that it's a torsion field, it's a sphere. Everything's a sphere, you know. So the galaxies are also self-generating due to the energetic conversion at the center of the galaxy that is spinning the galaxy, right? Emanating universal life force to nourish the billions of solar systems. And then in turn, the solar systems are also self-sustaining due to the torsion field that is spinning. So that's what we are. We are pretty much torsion fields. You know, we're not just this body. We exist everywhere. We're an energy field. And so we are also self-generating, self-sustaining, and self-preserving. Once we tap into our own, you know, I guess our own 0 point. we all
Absolutely.
0 point field through our own selves. You know, not through technology, not through anything outside of ourselves. And that's why when this dormant DNA comes online and we begin to activate and we tap into that 0 point energy field, I mean, we're going to be like replicators. We're going to be teleporting. We're going to be doing things. We're going to be able to shift from dimension to dimension at will without any technology.
That is super exciting. That's what I'm really excited about, is to, you know, start activating our superpowers. And we're just going to be living and thriving on a whole nother level on this planet. And I believe that's really what's natural to us. You know, that's really our natural abilities that have been lying dormant for generations, probably.
Yeah.
But wow, yeah, that's super exciting. What are we doing when we are dreaming at night?
You are actually existing in other dimensions and parallel realities. So you're when you dream that you fly, that's because that's a different version, a different parallel Earth or a parallel universe that actually has that ability. When you're dreaming that you have telekinetic powers and they come easily to you, that's because you're connecting with a different version of yourself that exists in alternative reality. So that's what dreams are. Dreams is where we are able to connect to all the different parts of our fragmented consciousness existing on all these different parallel universes. That's awesome.
Parallel universes and other planets and, you know, other worlds is really amazing. I've had some really amazing experiences in my dreams, my dream state. Okay, so I don't know if you have any if you have time for more questions, or if you want to start wrapping it up.
Yeah, it's almost been an hour, and I think that Instagram would automatically shut us down after the hour. And I don't know if that's going to be, if you're going to be capable of saving it. So let's just wrap it up. It's been,
Okay. Okay, awesome. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. And thank you to Ismael Perez. And really, you need his book. This is an amazing, amazing book filled with information and knowledge for um, our new world that we are creating, this heaven on earth. So you want to tell everybody where they can get your book and where they can find you and connect with you?
sure. Obviously on Instagram, I'm always, putting updates as they come. I'm also going to be doing a book tour. So I'm going to be letting everybody know where I'm going to be going. I'm going to be traveling around the state.
Oh, that's so exciting. Oh my gosh.
I want
That's
to
amazing.
You could, yeah, find me on YouTube. I'm under my real YouTube account, not all the pirated fake ones. It's Project Space Restoration underscore Zion. That's my only YouTube account, and I will begin using it again. And what else? Oh yeah, I also teach Starseed Cosmology, an online course consisting of 6 hours, broken down into 3 classes, 2 hours long, where we are interacting in real time, and I pretty much give you the entire cosmic rundown, from dimensions to cosmic galactic history, in detail, to exploring multi-dimensions, the different dimensional planes of reality. We explore chakras, different extraterrestrial races. I mean, it's just jam-packed of, cosmic information. What else? Let's see.
I love it. So when's your next course?
Well, I'm booked till February, so I believe that you still have time to sign for the February class, but within 2 weeks that'll be booked. Just to let you know, people are really enjoying this class, so thank God.
Yes, for sure. This is really amazing information that I believe, humanity really needs at this time. So people are ready for it.
Oh,
And
so.
yes, yes. And thank you so much for joining us, Ishmael. God bless you. And I guess I would say Prime Creator, bless you. Many blessings to you and your family. And we'll be in touch.
Blessings to everyone. Thank you for all the people that joined on this live. I appreciate
Yes, all the love, all the light. Thank you, everybody. Many blessings out to all living beings. Thank you.
And if you want me to repost this on my page, figure out a way to hit the collaboration button, and that's
Yes.
also capable of putting it on my page. If you can. If not, then I'll just put it on my story.
Yes, of course. I'll do that. I know how to do that. I'll do it.
All right. See you soon. Bye.
Thank you so much. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.